20%. That is, what do you mean by case fatality rate? That is, जितने लोग infected हो रहे थे, अगर 100 लोग infected हुए तो उसमें से 20 were dying. That is the fatality, death rate. So case fatality rate was 20%, and it was caused by a virus which was transmitted by ticks from cattle, but the commensal source of the virus was never identified. And monkeys were also the victims, because this was observed first in monkeys and then among humans. So it is a febrile disease associated with hemorrhages. The agent is an arbovirus belonging to flavivirus family, transmitted to men by bites of infected ticks. तो जो स्टार्टिंग में मैंने आपको पिक दिखाई थी, that was, they were not spiders as one of you were saying, they were ticks. And it was first recognized in Shimoga district of Karnataka state. Monkey disease was associated with dead monkeys. Like there were many dead monkeys, and then it was found that there was a disease among monkeys. And as I told you, this was the forest, Kyasanar forest, where this virus was first isolated. That is why we named this disease after this forest. And monkeys, they are acting as the amplification host. That is, the virus is amplifying in the body of monkeys. That is why they are termed as amplification host. Sometimes you get short notes on amplification host. Then you need to write what an amplification host is, and you can give some examples who are amplification hosts in which diseases, because it would vary from disease to disease. ऐसा नहीं है कि monkey KFD के लिए amplifier host है तो वो किसी और disease के लिए भी हो जाएगा. And man is an incidental or dead end host. That is, man won't be transmitting this disease to others. अगर उसको हुआ तो उसको animal से हुआ, and that would be the end of that virus. So first monkey death that marked the beginning of KFD saga reported from this place. This is the Kyasanar forest. Earlier this was limited around the original focus only. जो forest था Kyasanar forest वहीं पे था. Now it is restricted to 4 districts, that is Shimoga, North and South Kannada, and Chikmagalur. And serological surveys in India, they revealed antibodies to KFD or related virus among humans and animals, particularly in the cattle in Kutch and Saurashtra also. So mainly ये जो districts हैं ये तो सारी south की हैं, but serological surveys जब हुए to see कि और कहीं भी antibodies हैं क्या, तो even Gujarat cattle had antibodies to this virus. And a virus very similar to this virus was discovered in Saudi Arabia also. So the agent of this KFD is also known as KFD virus. This is a member of group B toga virus belonging to flavivirus family, identified in 1957 from a sick monkey from Kyasanar forest in Karnataka, which was formerly known as in Mysore. So the main host are small rodents, but shrews, bats and monkeys may also carry the virus. It is transmitted from the bite of a infected tick, and this is the scientific name for this tick, infected tick. टिक तो हमारा एक नॉर्मल ले वर्ड हो गया. सो इफ यू गो इनटू द साइंटिफिक नेम ऑफ दिस, इट इज Haemophilus spinigera. That is the major vector for this disease. Humans get the disease from a tick bite or by contact with an infected animal, such as a sick or recently dead monkey. And as I told you, monkey acts as an amplification host. So this is about the host and the reservoir. Cattle may become infected but do not have a role in transmission of disease. They are important in just maintaining the tick population. Furthermore, there is no evidence of disease being transmitted via unpasteurized milk of these animals. So kettles may be affected, but they are not transmitting the disease either by contact or even by unpasteurized milk. Now coming to the vectors, so there are 15 species of hard ticks, that is Haemaphysalis, which act as the vector for this disease. Particularly Spinigera and Tertura, they are known to transmit the disease. As I told you, there are 15 species of hard ticks, and particularly these two species are known to transmit the disease, and disease has also been isolated from soft ticks. So there are two types of ticks, soft ticks and hard ticks. So it is mainly the hard tick that is transmitting, but disease agent has been isolated from soft tick also. So if we talk about the host factors, mainly people in the age group 20 to 40 years are affected, more in males because they are more into grazing the cattle, getting into the forest, and people related to particular occupation like hunters, campers, forest workers and farmers who are getting into the forest, they are affected, and it correlates with epidemic, that is from Jan to June, because after June what will happen, there would be monsoons and people won't be moving about in the forest areas in the monsoon time. So this disease usually is associated more in Jan to June duration. So talking about the mode of transmission, monkeys and humans, they have the parasite, and that is ticks. They are infected by transmitting the disease to monkeys and humans, and then it is again if a tick bites such an infected monkey or human, then they get infected. So this is the cycle of transmission. Now coming to the clinical features, the incubation period varies from 3 to 8 days. Symptoms begin suddenly because this is again a viral disease. So viral disease में usually सब में similar ही features होते हैं. It begins with fever, headache, severe muscle pain, cough, dehydration, GI symptoms and bleeding problem. So especially fever, headache and muscle pain, these are common in almost all the viral fevers. After 1 to 2 weeks of symptoms, some patients recover without complication. However, in most, the illness is biphasic, that is, there are 2 phases followed by a second wave of symptoms at the beginning of the 3rd week. कि पहले एक बार थोड़ा सा रिकवर करेगा पेशेंट, डिजीज हुआ, रिकवर हुआ, एंड देन 3rd वीक पे वापस सिम्टम्स आ जाते हैं. सो दैट इज टर्म्ड एज बायोफेजिक. दैट इज देयर आर 2 phases व्हेन देयर वुड बी सिम्टम्स. एक बार राइज हुआ, डाउन गया, एंड देन अगेन अ राइज. These symptoms include fever and signs of encephalitis. So encephalitis is when there is inflammation of brain. Diagnosis can be done by virus isolation from blood or by serological testing using ELISA. How we can control them? We can control them by controlling the ticks. So control of ticks can be done by spraying carbaryl, Fenthion or Propoxil in hot spots. Hot spots means कि जहाँ पे वो हमें डिजीज एजेंट मिला या डिजीज मंकी या ह्यूमन मिला, उसके 50 मीटर्स अराउंड वी कंसिडर कि वो हॉट स्पॉट हो गया, बिकॉज वहाँ पे इन्फेक्शन है. तो वो टिक्स जो हैं दे कैन बी 50 मीटर्स अराउंड इट, इतना ही मूव कर पाती हैं टिक्स. दैट इज द मैक्सिमम. सो अराउंड द स्पॉट ऑफ रिपोर्टेड मंकी डेथ, यहाँ पे हमने कार्बेरल, फैंथियन या प्रोपेक्सो स्प्रेज वी कैन यूज so that we can kill those infected ticks. Restriction of cattle movement in the forest as heavy tick population is attributed to them, and vaccination of at risk people with killed KFT vaccine. Personal protective measures can be used in form of insect repellents, and wearing protective clothing in areas where ticks are endemic. So we have talked about what the agent is, host के क्या क्या features हैं, how the disease is transmitted, what are the clinical features, how we can diagnose and how we can control it. Now moving to the second one, that is filariasis. So this is a picture of an individual affected by filariasis. ये ऐसा क्यों हुआ? What you can see? Something abnormal you can see. So what can be the cause for this? Lymphatic system में blockage हो रहा है. So that is leading to lymphedema, and that is the reason you can see this huge edematous feet. So that is the reason there is another synonym for this disease. What is that? Elephantiasis. Very good. And here you can see the culprit. ये कौन सा मॉस्किटो है? This is Culex. Are you sure? Culex है या कुछ और है? ये आता है आपकी स्पॉटिंग में भी आता है. हाउ यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई कि एनोफ्लीस क्या है, कौन सा होता है, क्यूलेक्स कौन सा होता है, एडीज कौन सा होता है? कुछ स्पेसिफिक दिख रहा है इसमें? टाइगर मॉस्किटो कौन सा होता है? वो कह रहा था उसे बोलना था, तुम क्यों बोल रहे हो? मास्क में बोला नहीं जाता? फिर तुम्हारे वाइवा में ये आएगा बोलने, बट यू वोंट बी अलाउड. इसके आने से क्या होगा? ये टाइगर मॉस्किटो है. ओके, यू कैन सी स्ट्राइप्स दिख रहे हैं, ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट कलर के स्ट्राइप्स हैं. दैट इज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ अ टाइगर मॉस्किटो. बट टाइगर मॉस्किटो कौन सा होता है? एनोफ्लीस, क्यूलेक्स या एडीज? एडीज. इट इज एडीज. ओके, टाइगर मॉस्किटो का आपने बताया. एनोफ्लीस को और क्या बोलते हैं? क्या बोल रहे हैं? मैंने बोला एनोफ्लीस मॉस्किटो को और क्या नाम है, जैसे टाइगर मॉस्किटो में एडीज को बोलते हैं. आई एम नॉट आस्किंग अबाउट मेल और फीमेल. इसके लिए आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि वो ब्रीडिंग कहाँ करते हैं. जो एनोफ्लीस मॉस्किटो है वो हमेशा फ्रेश फ्लोइंग वाटर में ब्रीड करता है, and that is why it is also known as the Brahman mosquito. और क्यूलेक्स कहाँ करता है? क्यूलेक्स यूजुअली कलेक्टेड पॉट्स, जैसे आपके कूलर्स भरे हुए हैं या आपने मनी प्लांट रख रखा है पानी के अंदर, या आपके घर में कहीं टायर है या गार्डन में टायर पड़ा है और ये मानसून आ गए, बारिश का पानी भर गया, तो वो जो कलेक्टेड पूल्स हैं या छोटा सा वो है पॉन्ड है, वहाँ पे क्यूलेक्स की ब्रीडिंग होती है. So remember these synonyms for these mosquitoes. Now what is filariasis? It is a common term for a group of disease caused by parasitic nematodes belonging to superfamily Phalaroidea. तो जैसे आप लोगों में से किसी एक ने बोला था कि this is caused due to parasite. Yes, this is caused due to parasite, but it is also a vector-borne disease. So adult worms of these live in the lymphatic system, cutaneous tissue or body cavity of the humans, and they are transmitted through vectors. It is caused by nematodes that live in the human lymph system, and that is why it is also known as lymphatic filariasis. So this is the parasite. ये है फाइलेरिया कॉज करने वाला पैरासाइट. सो दीज आर वाइट स्लेंडर राउंड वर्म्स. वाई राउंड वर्म्स? एक फ्लैट वर्म भी पढ़ा होगा आपने. पैरासाइटो हो गई आपके माइक्रो में स्टार्ट. एक टेप वर्म भी होता है, फ्लैट वर्म भी होता है. इफ यू रिमेंबर योर द क्लासिफिकेशंस दैट यू यूज्ड टू रीड इन 11th 12th क्लासेस. तो क्या डिफरेंस है फ्लैट वर्म एंड राउंड वर्म में? फ्लैट वर्म रिबन की तरह होता है, चपटा, फ्लैट, एंड राउंड वर्म इज लाइक इसकी तरह राउंड है. So it is a type of roundworm, and there are 3 types: Wucheria bancrofti, Bergia malai, and Brugia timori. So they live for, their life is for 5 to 7 years, producing millions of offspring, and they block the lymphatic system, the network, and I hope you know what a lymphatic system is. And the blockage, this blockage of lymphatic system leads to edema, that is collection of fluid in tissue, the picture which we saw on the very first slide of filariasis. So if we look at the global picture, 120 million cases are present in 80 countries and 1 billion are at risk. And out of these, 90% are due to Wucheria bancrofti, and the remainder of them are due to Brugia malai. Here you can see which type of diagram this is. Which type of diagram is this? एक तो सब लोग अपने मास्क नीचे कर लो. Which type of diagram is this? ये जो diagram है, क्या दिख रहा है यहाँ पे? इस तरह के डायग्राम्स आपने अपने एसएससी में भी स्कूल्स में बनाए हैं किस तरह? क्या बोलते हैं? क्या है? क्या है? क्या है? मैप नहीं है यहाँ पे. तो दिस इज अ मैप डायग्राम. तो मैप डायग्राम में जैसे आप बनाते थे कि कौन सा मिनरल कहाँ मिलता है, या दे यूज्ड टू फिजिकल एंड पॉलिटिकल मैप. तो सिमिलरली हमें जब ग्लोबल पिक्चर या नेशनल पिक्चर भी देखनी है, वी कैन प्लॉट इट ऑन अ मैप टू सी कि कौन से एरियाज अफेक्टेड हैं. अगर हमें केवल इंडिया का देखना है तो इंडिया में कौन सा स्टेट अफेक्टेड है, वर्ल्ड का देखना है तो कौन सी कंट्रीज या कौन से कॉन्टिनेंट्स अफेक्टेड है. सो यू कैन सी मेनली जो येलो वाला मार्क्ड एरिया है दैट इज अफेक्टेड बाय वोकेरिया bancrofti, एंड ब्लू एंड रेड आर ड्यू टू ब्रुगिया. उसमें भी ब्लू वाला जो है, here you can see these islands, ये वाले एरियाज ब्लू हैं, और रेड तो बहुत ही कम है, it's only over here. So now coming to the Indian picture, so disease was recorded in India as early as 6th century BC by Sushruta, and he has mentioned this about in his book Sushruta's Samhita also. And in 7th century, Madhvakara described the signs and symptoms of the disease in his treatise Madhva Nidhan, which hold good even today. So like our history, our culture has been very rich, and we had been very ahead in medical science also in the previous years also, and nowadays also we are good. Okay, there are technologies developing in Western countries, but still we have a very rich history of advanced things that were known to us. And in 1709, Clarke called elephantoid legs in Cochin as Malabar legs, and discovery of microfilaria in the peripheral blood was made first by Lewis in 1872 in Kolkata city. So disease was recorded in 6th century BC, as early as this, and the agent was like first discovered in 1872. Now coming to the Indian picture, again this is another map diagram where you can see कि इंडिया में कौन कौन से एरियाज अफेक्टेड हैं. सो यू कैन सी ये जो सारे रेड वाले एरियाज हैं, दीज आर ऑल एंडेमिक districts, and about 630 million of people are at risk. Now coming to the vectors and the spread of infection, So mosquito is the intermediate host and carrier. The most common vectors or carriers are, in different areas they are different. Like in Africa it is Anopheles species, in America it is Culex, while in Pacific region and Asia, so we come in Asian region, it is Mansonia and Aedes species. So that was the pick of an Aedes mosquito. Now coming to the life cycle. So here again you can see these mosquitoes. It completes its life cycle in two hosts, a definitive host, that is the man, and the intermediate host, that is the mosquito. So we have these three mosquitoes, ये Culex है, ये Anopheles है, and this is the Aedes. So Mansonia is the principal vector for transmission of bee malai infection, and breeding of these mosquitoes is associated with aquatic plants as Pistia, Salvinia and Acornia. ये water में रहने वाले plants हैं. You would have read about these in your schools also. Pistia की किस तरह की round color की leaves होती हैं, and they spread very fast. कोई भी pond है या water body है उसमें बहुत fast spread हो जाता है, and they help in breeding of these mosquitoes. So here is a picture of this. You can see ये पूरा water body Pistia से envelop हो गया है, and this is Salvinia. तो इनकी जो roots होती हैं नीचे, यहीं पे वो ब्रीड करते हैं मॉस्किटोज. That this is the life cycle of Wucheria bancrofti. So as I told you, this nematode is spending its life in two hosts, that is man and mosquito. I am not going into the detail of this life cycle. You will be reading about this in your parasitology also. So as I told you, this is an roundworm. So they are minute whitish thread like, बहुत पतले पतले होते हैं, and are filariform in shape with smooth surface. Both the ends are tapering. And microfilaria जो होता है, that is the third stage of larva, that is found in peripheral blood and often in hydrocele fluid and chylous urine. They are transparent and colorless, covered by a hyaline sheath, and they can live up to 70 days in human blood. So as we had been talking about कि इसमें mainly it is the lymphatic edema which is causing problems. So disease manifestations are due to lymphatic dysfunction resulting from presence of living and dead worms, and there would be lymph thrombi, inflammation and immune reactions to worms and worm products. So जो large number of worms हैं, these roundworms, they block the lymphatic system by dead worms or living worms, and जो dead worms हैं उनके against immune reaction जो होता है उसके कारण भी there would be symptoms in the humans. So there is a huge clinical spectrum. They can be asymptomatic parasite carrier state, they can be acute disease or chronic disease. So asymptomatic parasite carrier state में parasite है but there are no symptoms, while in acute disease there can be adenolymphangiosis and there can be acute epididymoorchitis and funiculitis. While in chronic disease, that is when the disease is extending for too long, they can be lymphedema, hydrocele, elephantiasis and chyluria. So here are some pictures of this chronic disease. So this is grade 1 lymphedema, this is grade 2 lymphedema. I suppose you can differentiate between this. यहाँ पे आपको shining दिख रही है, edema है but बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. Here you can see even the foot is involved. here this is grade 3 lymphedema without nodules and warts. You can see the amount of edema कितना ज़्यादा है, वो elephant feet जैसी picture आने लग गई है. And here is grade 3 with nodules and warts. ये nodules and warts भी बन गए. So these are the different grades of chronic disease. Here is another picture of elephantiasis of leg. Here the breast is involved, here scrotum is involved. These are a few more of elephantiasis of the inguinal area. Now coming to occult filariasis and tropical pulmonary eosinophilia. Eosinophilia किस stage में होता है? Remember your physiology? Allergic. So I told you कि जो dead worms हैं उनके कारण allergic reactions हो सकते हैं. So classical clinical manifestations are not present in this, and microfilaria are not found in the blood, but they may be found in the tissues. So tropical pulmonary eosinophilia is associated with high eosinophil counts in the peripheral blood, and occult manifestations of both Vocaria and Brugia filariasis are present. So they are characterized by severe cough and wheezing, which would occur especially at night, diffuse mottled pulmonary interstitial infiltrates, peripheral blood eosinophilia, extreme elevation of immunoglobulins, that is especially IgE, extreme elevation of antifilarial antibodies, and dramatic clinical improvement in response to specific antifilarial chemotherapy with diethyl carbamazine. So this is especially for occult filariasis and tropical pulmonary eosinophilia. Now we had talked about that main problem in filariasis is lymphedema. So how we need to manage that? Treat for uncomplicated acute dermatolymphangioadenitis. Give analgesics like paracetamol. We can give oral antibiotics like penicillin. In case of the individual is allergic to penicillin, we can give erythromycin. Clean the limb with antiseptic क्योंकि इतना edema है, nodules हैं, so there can be infection also. So we need to clean the limb with antiseptics. Check for any wound, cuts or abscess. If they are there, we need to provide antibiotic cream. And interdigital infection है तो उसको भी हमें take care करना है by using antifungal creams. Give advice on prevention of chronic lymphedema. We do not need to give antifilarial medicines. What we need to do is we need to go for home management, that is elevation of the limb. So उससे edema थोड़ा सा take care होएगा. Drinking plenty of water. Wriggling the toes, that is toes का अगर movement करेंगे तो उससे edema भी improve होगा. Blood circulation better होगा and edema decrease होगा. And washing the limb so that there are no chances of secondary infection, and follow up after 2 days. If this ADLA is severe, what we need to do? We need to refer the patient to physician, give them penicillin until the fever subsides. Then we need to shift the patient on phenoxymethylpenicillin. In case of allergy to penicillin, we can give erythromycin intravenous until the fever subsides, and then we can move on to oral erythromycin. Give analgesics, antipyretics like paracetamol. Again, we do not need to give antifilarial medicines. For treatment and management of elephantiasis, in general, we need to prevention के लिए हम क्या करेंगे? We need to use mosquito nets and insect repellent so that mosquito की bite ही ना हो और infection ना हो. Elevate and exercise the affected body part. Wash the area twice daily. Apply antibacterial creams and complex congestive physiotherapy, that is we need to go for lymph drainage, massage and compressive bandages so that we can take care of that lymphedema and prevent it from progressing from grade 1 to further grades. So this lymphedema involvement involves washing, prevention and cure of entry lesions, elevation of the foot, exercise, wearing proper footwear, management of acute attacks and surgical management of hydrocele due to lymphatic filariasis is advisable. So here you can see a movement of foot and toes. This can also help in elevation of reduction of edema. But as I showed you a few pictures of hydrocele where inguinal area was affected, in that case we need to go for surgical management. Then treating the infection by diethyl carbamazine for 12 days in Bancroftian filariasis and for 6 days in Bruggian filariasis, which is repeated at 1 to 6 monthly intervals if that is needed. Ivermectin is not used in India, but in other areas ivermectin is also used. In our country we use albendazole. So what are the side effects for these drugs? It can lead to headaches, fever, myalgia, lymphadenopathy, occasionally rash and itching can be also there. Now we need to go for filarial surveys also. So this is done for routine survey or survey for evaluation. So National Institute for Communicable Disease, that is NICD, it has a standard to examine 5 to 7% of the population for routine surveys and 20% for evaluation studies. And what we do in filarial surveys? We go for mass blood survey, clinical survey, serological test, xenodiagnosis and entomological surveys. So मास ब्लड सर्वे में क्या होगा? हम बहुत सारे लोगों का ब्लड फिल्म ले रहे हैं. सो यूजुअली नाइट ब्लड सर्वेज आर डन बिकॉज जो फाइलेरिया है, वर्म है, इट यूजुअली कम्स आउट इनटू द ब्लड ओनली एट नाइट टाइम. यूजुअली देयर वुड बी अ राइज इन फीवर ऑल्सो नाइट टाइम पे. एंड आई टोल्ड यू इन द वेरी बिगनिंग कि इचिंग होती है क्योंकि वो जब वर्म ब्लड में आ रहा है तो उसके कारण जो इम्यून रिएक्शन हो रहा है, so that will lead to itching also, and the fever would be also around midnight. So we can take to make a thick film, which is the most commonly used method. So blood is collected from 8 in this duration 8:30 p.m. to 12 midnight, because this is the time we expect the filaria agent to come into the blood. Then these blood films are observed, they are hemoglobinized, stained, dried and examined. Then another method is membrane filter concentration, which is the most sensitive method for detecting low density microfilariaemia. तो जब बहुत कम अमाउंट है इस एजेंट का ब्लड में, in that case we go for membrane filter concentration. Then there is another test, that is the DEC provocation test. So what we do in this is that these microfilaria, they can be induced to appear in blood in the daytime by administering diethyl carbamazine in the dose of 100 milligram. I told you they usually appear at night, but then it becomes very difficult to get a blood sample done from 8:30 p.m. to 12. Maybe right person is not available to have the sample and get it processed at that time. So we can go for this provocation test where हम उसको वो drug दे रहे हैं, उससे वो microfilaria जो है that will appear in the daytime, and they reach their peak within 15 minutes and begin to decrease 2 hours later. So जैसे ही drug दी उसके within 15 minutes to 2 hours के बीच में ही हमें blood sample लेना है. Then we have clinical surveys, that is people are examined for clinical manifestations of filariasis. Then we have serological test. to detect antibodies to microfilaria and adults using immunofluorescent and complement fixing techniques. But we cannot distinguish between serological tests में we can't distinguish between past and present infection and heavy and light parasite loads. That we can't differentiate by serological tests. Then coming to the xenodiagnosis. So what we do over here, mosquitoes they are allowed to feed on the patient and then they are dissected 2 weeks later to see कि उन्होंने जिस patient या पे feed किया अगर उसमें microfilaria होगा so that would go into the blood of mosquito and we'll give 2 weeks for the agent to grow and see whether we can find it or not. Then is entomological survey, that is we collect mosquito from houses, dissect the female vector species for detection of developmental forms of parasite and study the extent and type of breeding places. So these three are the various type of entomological surveys. So quite a times you get a short note on filarial surveys also, like what all surveys are needed in filaria. So ये पांचों जो surveys हैं, these will come under this. Then we are trying to go for elimination of lymphatic filariasis, that is when it ceases to be a public health problem, and when we can define that we are in the process of elimination when number of microfilaria carriers is less than 1% and children born after initiation of elimination are free from circulating antigenemia, that is presence of adult filaria worms in human body is absent, then we can say कि we are in a stage of elimination of lymphatic filaria. So we have had a program called National Filaria Control Program, which was launched in our country in 1955. I'm not going into the detail of this control program because this would be separately dealt with. But what I want to tell you is that initially we had a separate control program for filaria. But now this has been merged with vector-borne disease control program. So we have around 7 diseases which are covered under that disease, because ये सारे vector-borne diseases थे तो इनकी control mechanisms mosquito या vectors को control करने के लिए similar mechanisms थी, so we have clubbed them all together. So now we have this control program under National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program, where we are going for annual mass drug administration. There is home-based management of lymphedema, IEC for preventive and protective measures, because for any disease, if people are not aware, we can't control it. हमें पता है कि ये disease ऐसे होती है, अगर लोगों को नहीं पता तो they won't take care. So we need to increase their awareness regarding this. And then is the vector control measures. Annual drug administration में क्या करते हैं हम? Annual mass drug administration, we give single dose of diethyl carbamazine, and nowadays we have a new regimen, a triple drug therapy recommended by WHO, where we are combining DEC with albendazole and ivermectin, and it is found 99% effective in removing the microfilaria from the blood for a full year after the treatment. So whenever this treatment is given, for at least for a full year, the patient won't be affected by this. How we can control these assess these filaria control programs on the basis of clinical parameters, parasitological parameters and entomological parameters. So what are they? Under the parasitological parameters, we have microfilaria rate and microfilaria density. While डिजीज रेट में द रेट ऑफ लिम्फेडेमा और हाइड्रोसील, एंड एंटोमोलॉजिकल सर्वे में द डेंसिटी ऑफ द मॉस्किटो, द इन्फेक्शन रेट, द इन्फेक्टिविटी रेट and the mean number of microfilaria or infective larvae per infective mosquito. ये जो indices हैं, these are also asked many times. So what is the microfilaria rate? That is, हमने जब टेस्ट किया, so the number of slides positive for microfilaria upon the total number of slides examined into 100. So this gives the microfilaria rate. Then the density is the total number of microfilaria upon the total number of positive blood smears. यहाँ पे total number of slides examined थी, यहाँ पे जो positive blood smears हैं उसमें कितने microfilaria आए हैं, that will give you the density. And what is the disease rate? Number of persons who are positive for disease upon the total number of persons who are examined. Then we have furthermore indices like 10 man-hour vector density, that is number of female mosquitoes which are collected upon the number of man-hours spent for mosquito collection into 10. Then the infection rate, which is calculated in percentage, the number of mosquitoes positive for any stage, whether L1, L2 or L3 of the parasite upon the number of female vector mosquito which has been dissected, जो हम xenodiagnosis में कर रहे थे. And the infectivity rate is number of mosquitoes positive for infective larvae, only L3. थर्ड वाली स्टेज जो है वो इन्फेक्टिव होती है. यहाँ हम इन्फेक्शन रेट देख रहे थे, तो इट कुड बी एनी स्टेज ऑफ लार्वा, एंड व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द इन्फेक्टिविटी रेट, it has to be just the infective larva, that is L3, upon the number of female mosquitoes described. So this is the difference between these two, the infection rate and the infectivity rate. Infection rate में we are looking for all the stages, and infectivity rate we are just talking about the infective larva. Then is the mean number of L3 upon the infective mosquito, that is कितने infective larvae हैं upon कितने infective mosquitoes हैं, that will give this rate. So these were the different indices that we need to calculate for filarial survey, and ultimately I come to the end of this. We have a Filaria Day which is celebrated on 11th November of every year, and on that day we provide a single dose of DEC which is given free in the endemic areas, and our aim is to control filaria, and this is the slogan for this: कैसे रोके हाथी पाँव के बढ़ते पाँव, because elephantiasis is हाथी पाँव. Due to the enormous size, it is known as elephantiasis or हाथी पाँव. So we need to control this, and how we can control it is through diethyl carbamazine and through personal protective measures. So with this I end both of